Hey everybody, this is James of Rattlesnake Defense. Today we're going to talk about suppressors and go over some of the processes and issues and things that you have to do to acquire one and what all that entails. So first of all, I'd like to show you this. This is a Silencer Co. suppressor on a 9mm Springfield XD-M Elite. I really enjoy shooting this. These things are a lot of fun. If you look behind me here, you'll see I have a Silencer Co. hybrid on my AR-15. This one's interchangeable, works on multiple calibers, so that's real fun to test with and play with and whatnot. So I just want to go over everything from the beginning. First, clearly these things are designed to make the sound less, but this isn't TV, so nothing works like the movies. You have to use subsonic ammunition. You have to be aware of the sound that comes out of the action itself, the sound of the bullet hitting. These things can still potentially make a lot of noise. For example, this AR-15 behind me, it's still pretty loud with suppressor on it because the bullet's supersonic and you have the action working and the smoke and everything, and it's not like nobody's going to notice. Now, you can still shoot it without hearing protection, so it's fun to hear your shots hit the steel at range. Same with the handgun. If you shoot a heavier grain 9mm bullet, something subsonic, something in the 150 grain range, you can still get it down pretty quiet. It definitely doesn't sound like a gunshot, but it's not completely silent. So I want to get that out of the way right off the bat. Different suppressors. There's a lot of different makes, a lot of different companies. Do your research. Talk to your people. There's a lot to know about these and a lot of knowledge. Personally, I went with Silencer Co. That's who I trust, but make your own decisions as far as that goes. Also, the price on these things is all over the place. I've seen suppressors anywhere from $200 to $3,500, depending on what it is you want, what caliber it's for, who makes it, and everything like that. So, really a lot to take in. The cheaper ones tend to be smaller calibers like 22 Magnum, some handguns. The more expensive ones tend to be for like 50 BMGs, high-powered rifles, 330 Lapua. There's even stuff available for shotguns. I've not got to try one of those yet, so if you have got to shoot a suppressed shotgun, let me know how cool that is. I would be pretty interested to see that. So the main thing is that the ammunition has as much to do with the gun, whether or not it's semi-auto or single shot or bolt action has a lot to do with the sound. So, a semi-automatic 22 caliber pistol with supersonic ammo, if you're shooting stingers, CCI stingers, is still going to make quite a bit of noise. So I want the expectation to be right out the gate what it is. Later, I'd like to do a video. I'll show you these suppressors and how they perform in the field so you can get some kind of a feel for that. And also, I'm in a dealership here in West Virginia, so I know all the local laws and everything is here. So in your state, in your area, do your research and find out what's going on. Also, there's a lot to do with the manufacturing and the Form 1s with the suppressors. I'm not going to go over any of that now. Right now we're going to talk about just the over-the-counter Form 4 for when you buy a suppressor from a Class 3 gun shop. So the first thing you have to do is pick your suppressor out, and that's one of the harder things to do. You have to know what you want. In order to start the paperwork, you have to have the suppressor in hand in the store, so you have to pick it out before we can start any part of the process. So we have to put the serial number and the make and model and everything of the suppressor on the paperwork when we send it, so we can't apply for the tax stamp without you choosing what suppressor you want. I've run into this issue a little bit where people just aren't sure and they want to start the process early, so that's not something we can do. So pick what you want. Order it if you have to. We can get that. We custom order most of our suppressors. We have some in stock, but the vast majority is somebody who knows what they want. They pick it out. We order it, we get it in. So once the suppressor comes in, then you, depending on the gun store, pay for it, layaway. That's different per shop. Then we have to actually do the paperwork. So the paperwork process requires a handful of things. You have to have 3 passport photos, and you have to do fingerprint cards. Now, we do our fingerprint cards there in the shop. You can have them done by police departments or anybody who's qualified to do that. The passport photos, you can usually go to a drugstore or anywhere that does photography or anything, and they'll set you up with a passport photo, Walmart, wherever. So that's not hard to come by. You gather everything up, you come in We fill out everything in triplicate. We do the fingerprints, we write the forms out, put all the information in. We put that in the mail. The gun store holds onto your suppressor while the paperwork is processing. At this point right now, it's taken an average 9 to 11 months to get the paperwork back. Some people get it back a little faster, some people have had to wait a little longer. Mine personally took about 7 months on this one and about 10 months on that one. So, you know, it's a little bit random. Once the paperwork comes back, you fill out a normal 4473 background check. So the gun shop has a record of where the suppressor went. That doesn't have to be called in or checked. At that point, if the suppressor's paid for, you can leave and it's yours. When you leave, you're going to have your suppressor itself and everything that comes with it, plus you're going to have one of the forms they send back, which is your tax stamp. It's very important that you keep this with you. It's your responsibility to have this tax stamp anywhere you have your suppressor so that you can show it and prove that you are legal and that it is your suppressor. Also, it's important to understand that this is your suppressor. You can't let somebody borrow it. It has to be where you are and you have to be where it is. So, you know, as much as I would love to let my friends and family borrow this and shoot it, that's not something that's lawful. Because the paperwork is all in your name. Also, you have to try to keep them secure. The ATF frowns very much on losing or suppressors getting stolen or anything, so it's your responsibility. And it's essentially yours forever. There are some methods you could go through. You can sell suppressors or trade them and everything. That depends on the gun stores and the conditions and what you have, obviously. And there's always caveats to everything, but for the most part, once you buy one, it's going to be yours for the long run. You can also get them registered to gun trusts, which have multiple people in them. That's, again, a whole nother topic we might get into a little bit later. But for right now, I just want you to be aware of what your responsibilities are, how you can go about the process. This is a question people ask me a lot, and I find there's a lot of misunderstanding about exactly how it works. So you can own a suppressor perfectly legally, as long as it's something that's allowed in your area. Here in West Virginia, you can come into my gun shop, you can buy a suppressor, we can fill out your paperwork right there on the spot, we'll send it in. I know it sucks a lot to have to wait almost a year to get it back, but I'm telling you, from what it's worth, from my point of view, it's worth it. It's a lot of fun. It's a really unique thing to have. It greatly increases the entertainment value of shooting almost any of your firearms. So, you know, let me know if you have any questions or anything. I can be reached. I work at a store called Park Center Sporting Goods in Raynell, and you're more than welcome to contact us with questions or email me, comment, whatever you need to do. And you guys have fun shooting.